So it's 9:40 p.m. 26th of May 2024, and today's video is going to be a little bit more interesting because I think it's something that is prevalent throughout not just business, not just entrepreneurship, but just in general interpersonal life, and that's trust. And one thing that's been on my mind, and one thing that's pretty hard for me to get past in terms of entrepreneurship, is how do you know that you can trust someone, right? And that's really never something that I've ever struggled with in the past in terms of forming a relationship with people, because usually it comes with time, you know, like over time, over months and years of spending time with someone, you get a gauge of what kind of person you're talking to, what kind of person you're dealing with, and you trust them. You trust them more and more over time. But how do you speed up the process, not only to trust the person on the other end, but for them to trust you? And obviously there's a quick way of doing it, which is through a legal contract. But I'm dealing with two people right now, actually, and one of them I've actually mentioned before, and he's the one that presented me with an opportunity of 500 grand, right, with just one conversation, which is crazy. And that still kind of, mind boggles me. And there's another dude that I've been working for a longer period of time, and I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, that I trust the latter person a lot more, obviously, because I've worked with him for longer. And since I've worked with him for so long, and he's been getting good results for me, I like to tell him about how my business is going and new opportunities I've had. And I tell him about this, and then he says, "You are letting him use you as a whore." And obviously that sounds very derogatory, that sounds very offensive, right? But in business, you gotta have thick skin. And I ask, elaborate, what do you mean? And he goes, you came to him to see if you could help him out in real estate. And you can help him, but in a different industry, which is private lending. Now, in real estate, it's interesting because I get paid first before the service. Now, in private lending, you can do that too. However, this guy insists that I get paid on a commission, right? And that means whenever I get a deal done, I get the money. So the guy that I've been working with for a while, he believes that I am slightly being taken advantage of. He believes that I should be paid first before my service. Now, this is a matter of belief, right? So that's besides the point. However, for some reason, he came across as if this man was not to be trusted. He could have ulterior motives, even though he is writing a contract for you and is going to get you to work under his wing. You are ultimately being paid after the fact. So that, in that case, you do have to be careful. And I say, I get where you're coming from. I understand. Like, I thought the exact same thing when I started working. However, the benefits outweigh the risks here. And then he says something to the effect of, I see where you're coming from. However, this is going to downplay your value as a service provider. And I say, I get it, but I'm confident in my service. And once this works, I will, number one, either be paid more than I would otherwise be paid if I charged him an upfront because it's a commission. Or I will force this guy into paying me upfront. Either way, because he's sending me a contract. He goes, you know what? You do whatever you want. This is just my advice. I've seen, scenarios like this that don't really pan out well. And I go, you know me. I'll figure it out. I was like, cool. Now, I sensed an aspect of jealousy coming off of the guy that I've been working for a while. Right? I sensed an aspect of jealousy, a little bit of envy. I don't know if that was misreading him. I don't know whether or not it was something that he actually displayed. But that left me in a weird place because I trust this guy, right? And for him to give me the advice of cut the ties with the private lending guy, it ultimately leaves a sour taste in my mouth. And in business, trust is everything, obviously. But because trust is everything, it can also be exploited. Now, I wonder whether or not I trusted the guy that I was working for a long time a little bit too quick. And whether or not there are certain criteria that should be filled before I invest my trust into someone. Because in all honesty, the best play here, if I didn't trust this guy, would have been to not tell him about this opportunity that I have. Because now I feel like this might hinder our business relationship. So I might have played the wrong move because I didn't know the chess pieces on the board. It's an analogy I like to make. I didn't know the pieces on the board. I didn't have the vision to see the pieces on the board. So I made the wrong move. That's what it feels like. So, I don't know. This is a little bit of a weird video. Like, hopefully some of you can help me. Just like comment down below what you guys think, what criteria should be filled out before you begin to invest your trust into someone. That being said, rags to riches. Let's get it.